Blessed love, I am Michel Conci, and I would like to tell something briefly about my musical and percussion activities. It's now 2023, I think it's time for sort of an update. I specialized in percussion instruments as a musical instrumentalist the last 10 years, so percussion became important for me. But music has been important throughout my whole life, since I was born actually. And always was it's important to emphasize also the creative type. You have technical types and creative types. I'm not very mathematical, so I'm always want to create and make and thinking freely. But I always was composing or had ideas for composing songs, even as a child. I remember when I was 8 or 9, I started to recording musical melody ideas or song ideas on cassette in those days even. So it goes way back. But I've always been active composing, and when I later had means like music software, I always I started to record music and songs. I wanted to write songs. That's I felt I had to do that. It's my mission more or less, I think. But instrument wise, let's put it like that, I was like drumming, but I chose percussion about 10 years ago. I started to specialize in it, following lessons with well-known percussionists, also in person. And later also self-study of different instruments, percussion instruments. Conga and the bongo, the Cuban drums, Afro-Cuban drums. I followed lessons, also the African djembe drum, African talking drum, like I have here, for instance, is a talking drum. I also followed lessons, and learned how to play it more and more over the last 10 years. Big and small instruments, because the world of percussion is very varied. Much variation. You have shaker instruments, like this one, also quite well known from Afro-Brazilian culture originally. Cabaza is this type of shaker, but you have different types of shaker instruments I play. I have a Spanish mother, more from the south of Spain, so also castanets came into my life quite early. I also play the castanets, the castañuelas, as they say in Spanish, the palitos in Andalusia. It's an African shaker, for instance. You see tambourine also is a little bit more well known in Western music, I think, tambourine. But African instruments I play, this is also interesting, for instance. even de Udu. It's from Igbo culture in the south of Nigeria. It's kind of earthenware made. It's the kind of vessel but with a hole in it. So an interesting actual instrument used in the Igbo culture in the south of Nigeria. So the south of Nigeria is an important area, I think, in my influences on my musical style, because the Yoruba culture, which influenced Afro-Cuban and Afro-Brazilian music, also came from there. So those influences are there. So different, the different types. So I play different types of instruments. Learned them more and more over the last 10 years. And when I got more skilled in them, about 5 years ago, I dared to, when I felt more skilled in those different types of percussion instruments, from congas and bongos, big and small drums, to shaker and scraper instruments, like you see here behind me a little bit. I started to attend jam sessions in various music clubs in Amsterdam. And also it started to show me my compositions, the percussion, because I always made compositions. I like to make songs, like I said. There were different influences in my life: reggae music, Jamaican music I liked. Funk, African music, later also blues and jazz, and Spanish music, like flamenco music, all those different Latin American music, Cuban music, because I went several times to Cuba also, delved into the musical culture of Cuba also, Brazilian music a little bit, so different funk, hip hop, the different influences I received, and tried to make compositions, of course, songs, which I eventually recorded with music software. And also percussion became more important in those compositions, because I started to focus more on percussion and the role it could play in songs. I also made more experimental songs, instrumentals as I call them, percussion instrumentals, based on solely or mostly on percussion instruments. So it's an interesting creativity which I showed which I expressed in those compositions. They all ended up on my YouTube channel, by the way. Michel Conci, like my name, Michel-Conci. One word. This is my YouTube channel. All my compositions, all my ideas I had for songs could be standard, so to speak, reggae songs or Latin songs, but also more experimental, instrumental songs, different types of. And also, like I said, I went to jam sessions when I felt more confident. With my percussion instrument, playing with other musicians, different music clubs in Amsterdam, like the Bourbon Street, Waterhole, Malo Mello. Those are some music clubs with regular live music, and also jam sessions, with free jam sessions with covers of pop, rock and funk standard songs, or blues songs, or sometimes less well-known songs, Jimi Hendrix covers, or Beatles covers, or kind of Stevie Wonder, Pink Floyd, different type of songs from different artists. Sometimes well-known songs we covered, or Prince songs, and we get free interpretations with room for creativity and improvisation of all the instrumentalists. Also, I attended those with my percussion, playing with other musicians for an audience. There's 4 people, so always nice to play 4 people. So that's also the recordings of those jam sessions which I attended with my percussion instruments, playing with other musicians. I also tend to often recorded them, and they on the show ended up in that YouTube channel I mentioned, where you find the live recordings of the jam sessions where I play my percussion instruments. It can be interesting, not just for my self-promotion or my ego, but also because you see the varied world of percussion, because I play big and small percussion instruments. Sometimes I take them, sometimes they are there, like congas, the big Afro-Cuban drum. Instruments, the shakers and other smaller, even the castanets I play sometimes, to spread it a little outside strictly the Spanish folk culture, so to make it a little bit translated to other genres as well. More unusual instrument, different influences I used, and that you can use on different types of songs, and that you also see on those live recordings. Is an interesting thing about it. Plus also all my compositions, reflecting all my musical influences I received throughout my life, reggae music, but also the increased role of percussion the last 10 years. I think it's interesting, and I hope you find it interesting anyway, to check out my YouTube channel, where you find all my compositions, live recordings also, and other musical activities, percussion and music, wider musical activities. Also as a DJ, other musical activities. Sometimes I have DJ, reggae, vinyl DJ also sometimes. So you see it also on my YouTube channel. So that is what where I'm at right now, 2023, having specialized in percussion about the last 10 years as an instrumentalist mainly. And I kept on since I was a child with composing songs with different influences, different types of songs, instrumental and vocal songs. So I hope you found this interesting, and will check out my YouTube channel, Michel Conci. Give thanks for your attention.